Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGL.GG Invite Season 17 Invite Highlander Playoff Cast, where we're watching Witness Gaming take on Run It Back in the upper bracket finals. I am Alto, joined by Zag to my side, Delphin behind the camera as always. Zag, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Excited for this 1 vs 2 seed match. Winner going straight through to the grand finals with pick ban ads. Going to be putting them in the best possible position to win the title this season. And I think we have a very interesting matchup here tonight. Normally in Highlander Invite, the 1 seed is typically overwhelming favorites to the point where you'd be very surprised if they lost on their upper bracket run. It's happened a few times, but I think it's likely to happen this time, or at least the possibility is certainly on the table.
Yeah, and I mean, we haven't seen because we've been casting the other matches, but Witness Gaming has not looked steady these past 2 weeks. Granted, both of those matches were against somebody help, but they suffered a surprise upset on Steel, which you can argue, last week of the season they have first seed locked up, maybe they're not playing at their best, helps fighting to stay alive in the season. You know, you got someone who's super hungry versus someone who, is going through the motions. Last week is their playoff match. First round, and somebody help beats Witness Gaming on product of all maps, with Lenny dropping what may have been the best individual match scoreline of all time. He went roughly 80 and 20 with, I think, 650 DPM on product and lost. Won the SVS over Mountain, 17-3 on product and lost. Which, you know, I've heard a lot of people credit help for how well they played the map. I've heard that May coming in on Demo Man having a huge impact on that team. There is no player that should individually be able to account for the enemy sniper on product going 80 and 20, 650 DPM, 70-3 in the SVS. That is a team issue, and Witness Gaming are probably looking like the shakiest we've seen them all season coming into this. Rib, this match starts on Swiftwater. We'll get into the pick bans in a sec because they are quite interesting. But we are starting on Swiftwater, where Rib did manage to take a half off them in the regular season.
Yeah, and as we have the rosters on screen right now, we can go and run down those first. On the side of Run It Back is going to be Birdo on Scout, Mako on Soldier, Leaf on Pyro, Mori on Demo Man, Chalk on Heavy, Gigi on Engineer, Foxy on Medic, Poseidon on Sniper, and Jay-Easy on Spy.
Over on the side of Witness, it will be Pablo Scout, Blank Soldier, Melon Pyro, Exile Demoman, Flu Walrus on Heavy, Hyphen on Engineer, Blake on Medic, Lenny on Sniper, and Death Joe, the Return of the Nose on Spy.
Yeah, and we do have all 18 players on the server. They kind of just funnel in here real quickly, but if we can get the pick ban up, just for a bit of a discussion, really interesting pick ban. Both teams first banning Koth. That very rarely happens. We have Witness going with Swiftwater, the map they won in the regular season. That's understandable. And Run It Back choosing Vigil, their best map. Don't fight Chalk on Vigil. Easy pick there. A Steel ban coming out from Run It Back. We saw how weak they were in the regular season, even though Witness Gaming lost to Penguins, or I guess somebody help on that map. Still, Run It Back not confident enough to leave it up. Witness had the choice between running back product, where they lost to somebody help while having Lenny having that insane stat line, or go to upward, they choose product. That to me says one big thing. Witness Gaming have a 2-map pool. They are good at Asheville, they're good at Swiftwater. They don't have confidence on Steel, they don't have confidence on Prute because they first banned it. Vigil is a map they will never want to pick over Run It Back. So that leaves Upward and Product. They weren't confident enough in Upward to let that be their map, so they just chose to run back Product after a terrible showing last week.
Yeah, I mean, you can make arguments for each of these picks, right? Prute, they maybe just saw Rib, 4-0, Square on it last week. It's most of the players on this team are on the older side, so they may not, naturally gravitate towards a newer map. There's reasons for it, but I'm surprised that they banned Prute over Vigil, going into Chalk, whose reputation precedes him. Vigil, if you recall, was the map that, I guess it was Team Fun, it was last season or 2 seasons ago when they lost to Witness, were so terribly afraid of that, and there's a lot of similar players, so terribly afraid of that they banned it both BO3s. So, yes, there's some, mixed blood on the team. It's not just Team Fun, it's not just Witness. Decent amount of overlap between the two, but it still goes to show that just not exactly what you'd like to think from Witness. Not as many picks where you're kind of like, oh yeah, they're just picking this to flex. Even the Swiftwater, right? it's worth noting that while Rib did take that half in the regular season, the way that match played out, Witness were clearly not playing at full strength in that first half. They lost on kind of a lazy, C9 back cap, 8 alive during an Uber. Cart just gets, coasted in. Then they locked in and proceeded to choke out Rib for the remaining 20 minutes of that match. So not surprising that they picked it here, but even so, you have that kind of that pre-existing reason for it. A lot of the times you'd see Witness Gaming or whatever Jacob Stack come in and say, yeah, we're just gonna pick whatever match we feel we're best at.
Yeah, and in that case, this is Swiftwater, and we are already going to be getting into the game quite soon. It is 10 minutes after the teams did take some time to get in after their pregame, so going to be ready to get this one started. Witness Gaming on defense, Run It Back on offense. We'll see if Run It Back can put up a good time. In their regular season match, I remember they had one round where they had a pretty decent push, then the rest of them they kind of got stonewalled. I remember they got hard held that second once, if I'm not mistaken. So the pressure's going to be on...
half, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the last half. Pressure's going to be on Run It Back here to really show up and see what they can do on their opposition's map pick. If you are Witness Gaming, this is a map pick you really, really need to win, because you were not confident to Vigil going on to Run It Back's best map, and having the 1-0 lead in a situation like this is going to be really good. First kills on the board. Blank and Mako going to get traded. Scout and demo. Pyro going flying over the roof. Melon reflect rocketed. That's some Pyro dodgeball, which Melon's going to lose. And then Poseidon headshotting Def Joe, getting him off the field for now. But Cart going to be rolling up consistently. 3x'd all the way there. No delays coming
Look at
forward.
Leaf pushing into tunnel. Going to get on Flulars.
A lot of damage.
Steel, though, going to be way too hard to cut through.
Jay-Z's Enforcer. He might try to... Yeah, not enough damage onto the heavy. I like that play, though, with the Enforcer trying to run through and clean up the heavy through the damage resistance.
Not an interaction that I immediately thought of, I'm not going to lie, when you said that. And I'm like, why do you say Enforcer? Right, that's the PR.
It's actually good. It's actually really good against Fist of Steel. If the heavy has a Fist of Steel card last, you can Enforcer at him and kill him in 6 shots. But, we'll have to see if that ever comes into play. Defense now set up for Witness Gaming, standing on the high ground. They have a banner building on blank level 3s here. And, of course, Lenny posted on the bridge, the Danger Man, the highlight of their match last week. We'll see if he can put together a performance worthy of that one. Uber going to be coming through the tunnel immediately onto the gun, taken very low. Hyphen doing his best to keep it up, but after the full Uber, the full clip of stickies will get taken down.
Yep, Hyphen going to get lit up, but does barely stay alive. Means that gun's going to be rebuilt a lot sooner. Otherwise, Chalk in deep up top, but not going to find anything. Poseidon lands a body shot on the Pablo, that's it. Mori jumping up, trying to get some damage in. Does a decent amount, but no kills coming across. Everyone's living.
Blake is low HP. Yeah, low HP, but didn't pop the Uber. Held it for his life, and it pays off in the end there. Leaf can go underneath, taken out with heavy. And here's the counter Uber coming out finally by the defense here. Foxy will be out of dodge, really good to stay back and get out with that Uber. Now, that's an interesting move from Witness, because they could have popped to contest at any point, but they milked really hard. And now they don't have Uber. They have no position. They're just going to get pushed out by the respawners up top, and Second's just going to get capped. And because they were slow to pop, they're at a 50% disad here.
Yeah, I hesitate to say that was calculated by Rib, but things are turning out extremely well for them with how kind of long it took them to get that force, combined with the positioning. Yeah, Chalk's just in!
Yeah, Jay-Z and Mako have control of this high ground. Look at that blank kill. Jay-Z with great shots from the Enforcer. High ground is held by Run It Back right now. Witness Gaming have no avenue out. They don't have Uber. Foxy can drop onto this platform with their demo man. Looks like Maury's looking for some spam. They might not even have to pop for this. Witness need to do something here. 85 on Blake. Can they get that out in time? It's just going to be no.
No, Cap's just going to go through. They're going to get the cappers, but too little too late. Going to make them scurry right back into spawn. Gun not going to make it out.
And that's what happens when you waste that. Even if they popped like 10% faster, they'd have Uber to defend that.
Yeah, that late pop really is stinging in there. The milk is such an interesting spot on the second. You could write an entire kind of paper about it. But Chalk up on the Headglitch, going to try to deny a lot of space here, but flank on the rocks. Yep, Uber's going to be traded out. Fox popped up, but Chalk dropped. That's going to be a huge presence missed for the offense on this Headglitch. Probably going to force them to a little bit more passive, but no, they're staying in. They're going to try to take this fight. Bomb coming in from Mako. Gets good damage onto Exile. Mori finds Flulars and Exile. Block and load pipes are going to land tons of damage on everyone else. Hyphen's gun super passive. Just fishing for directs with that lock and load of Poseidon on a 6 streak. I don't know if he's died yet this round.
Maybe, maybe not, but either way, cart's rolling up this hill ×4 all the way through, and that cart has not stopped ever since the Uber exchange. I say the air quotes exchange.
330
second.
through 4!
Yeah, this is a blazing time for it back. Even Uber's now going into last, but they've set such a good time here, and now Poseidon gonna go up top, peek through the windows. If he could find any opening here, it'd be great for his team. I think his dot was seen, some Sticky's gonna get spammed his way, but Witness Gaming, they need to find some footing here to make their stand, because this time is bleeding away so quickly, and Poseidon, there we go, finding his entry onto Melon. No pyro to air blast the rockets, goes down.
They can Uber top left here too. They won't get
no
caught
pyro
in.
to air blast them off the cart either.
Looks like they're taking tracks though.
No pyro to air blast them off the cart, so they can just stack this as much as they want. They do have to be careful though. There is the heavy on the traffic cone with the Thomas Slob. In the meantime, lobby control held by the side of Run It Back. They will lose Mako, some splash damage coming through from Exile, but with both teams having Uber right now, Run It Back looking for their avenue in.
Chalk gonna get caught out left lobby. Pablo is not gonna quite escape. Birdo tracks him down. Looks like Uber's gonna come in from the window. Foxy just standing in the window. They're not really gonna find too much with that, but Birdo picks off Lenny somehow.
Yeah, ran through up top left, and he got 2 kills. He's still there, being a nuisance. Look at this. Witness are trapped. They can't do anything. A banner is coming out. It's perfect timing by Blank here to get this out, but with Def Joe going down, they have no presence in the backlines. That's Chalk going up the side, takes down the banner. It's up to Fluoris now. He's the only man that can do big damage, and there he is, dropping onto Chalk, doing it high for the revenge crits, showing Mako who's boss, and that will be somewhat of a stabilization there for Witness Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kills there, but they don't get cards. Still not too close. You know, the gun is dead. Not even though it's not actually level 2, it's just playing close in the corner. Little disappointed that Rib, when they got the kill on Melon, didn't fast try to push in through that left side. Waited for her to respawn, took the standard window in through kind of the paint area of the map. But maybe they might be regretting this. They're gonna try to flood cart again right now. 90%.
Dead.
Yeah, Flu is too, but they're losing just as many players on the side of Rib. Foxy's at 95. They're gonna come in, get the force out right as Foxy gets, and that is gonna be Foxy playing all the way back deep in 4th. No one around them right now, so very possible they just got themselves the ad they need to win this. Melon and Blank on cart. Blank holding a banner, it looks like, so that could factor into this push.
Yeah, this banner could be the one thing that keeps Witness Gaming alive in this full Uber disad defense. Def Joe gonna go down early, so he's not gonna be a factor in this one. Again, banner popped as the Uber is. Level 2 gun gets wrangled up. Be taking a lot of damage, but Lenny gonna go down immediately. Can't do anything in this fight. Sticky's coming up onto these players. Melon dead, no pyro. Chalk focuses that heavy down. Fluoris is dead, and Cart gets pushed over the edge. 6-11. Run It Back. A flawless half, honestly, or flawless offense at least.
Jay-Z stabbed the sniper, stabbed the banner soldier, and then emptied 6 enforcer shots into the heavy on the traffic con, and just took out the 3 biggest defenders at the point. And what's funny is I wouldn't even say that was flawless. I think they had the one issue. They got Melon, could have pushed off of that. They were 90% Uber, could have fast rotated. But what's even scarier is that they maybe could have gotten this in a faster time. Which, if you come in and you say, we're going to put up 6 minutes on Swiftwater into Witness Gaming, you say, yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, take that every time.
And it could have been better.
Yeah, I understand the decision to not immediately push there, because the thing with Swiftwater is it takes multiple pushes often just because you want to get that cart closer and closer with each exchange. You ideally don't want to take more than 2 to get it through, and they took 2 in the end, so I'd say that yeah, they could have pushed in 5 if they one-shot that last push, but for what they were given and what they took, I think they played that near perfect.
Yeah, no, it is.
Super impressive by Run It Back.
And I wish we had more time just to talk about the mechanics of milking Uber on Swiftwater for a second. Because on so many other points, it feels like milking that. I mean, you always want to milk Uber. Swiftwater second. It's almost like you should just pop immediately so you're on even timers. Possibility of having big disad makes it so difficult to stay in on that point because of the way the defense has to play. And you saw exactly that with the the kind of 50% ad that Riv ended up getting there. But they're deciding to open up onto Melon on the defense here. Not as aggressive. If you remember, Witness Gaming had Blake pop out of the tunnel. They were very far forward. Not nearly as
Uber?
Here.
What?
They saw the gun. They wanted the gun, and they're gonna get it. I mean, I think if you're Witness, they're popping counter use here.
This is crazy. Look at the Blake.
Look at the surf. Look at the surf by Blake. That is massive. That honestly may have just salvaged this play as a concept, and they're going to get Mori too. They're going to lose a couple players, but they get the Uber out of the defense. Blake stays alive. They're going to have a slight ad, too, because they use
They're not
burst.
even leaving either. They're staying in. Foxy eats an arrow from Blake. A second one hits
Oh
Foxy. Foxy almost got one shot by Blake. Will barely keep her life, but just like that, that point is going to go over. What a crazy first. It only took, like, what, a minute, 10 seconds-ish? So that's about average for Swiftwater to get slightly contested. But there's so much that went down there. And in the end, both meds going to be on perfectly even uber charge. Defense trying to back up and get their gun in position. But Witness Gaming, they are pushing the pace here, and they do need to.
Oh, Jay-Easy coming in, gonna get caught out. Melon melts that Spycicle.
Melon can't reflect the spam, though. A lot of damage goes down to Blake. They're being distracted so long.
Yeah, I mean, they're still waiting for Uber, but I think part of the theory there might be that if you pop Uber that early, you're gonna have, 20 seconds after you end up capping. They knock Exile or Mori into tunnel, but don't manage to get the kill. That was a dangerous position for Mori. He goes down, so that telepush looks a lot better, but does manage to stay alive. Witness is just kind of burning time right now.
Yeah, they bled 3 people, a couple in upper, one in lower to the SVS, and they really just didn't want to go up, 6v9, which is understandable, but they are bleeding this time, as you're saying. Blank gonna try to go side tunnel with the sniper. They're trying to set up Lenny with an off angle here, but it is called immediately. Spam is flooding this tunnel. Lenny cannot even scope in. He's gonna try and get the quick scope. Uber gonna go down onto the tunnel, though. Yeah, in the exchange, Uber going down to the tunnel really heavily. A lot of damage being dealt to the combo of Witness Gaming. They lose 3 on the front lines, including Lenny, who now can't take advantage of that SVS lead. So it will be the defense holding strong here. They only lost Lenny in that exchange.
Yeah, no, well, they only lost Poseidon, really.
Poseidon,
yeah. Poseidon. And Lenny, the number of the side tunnel pushers went down, so that sniper pick not able to be capitalized on. And we're already halfway through the time.
Yeah, this is already getting pretty bad for the side of Witness Gaming. Like, the time is still very dual, but the card has to keep moving. Remember how consistently that card was moving for Run It Back on their offense. From second up until the last ramp, it never stopped. And here's the banner. Run It Back, not wanting to sit around, making plays. They get Lenny again, take down Pablo and Joe as well. And just another great defensive play to just stall this offense, make them burn these seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, too, is that a lot of the times you don't want to pop that banner on defense because it's kind of like your second chance at a point. But when you only have 3 minutes left, 30 seconds is more than enough, value to get out of that banner to keep burning it. At this point, Witness need to just ace the rest of the map non-stop.
They're going apartments. They need to just wipe the combo here, but with full Uber on Foxy, it's going to be so hard. Look at this. The Pirate's trying again. Leaf gets in just in time to take that Uber and Air Blast his combo back. Pablo jumps out of the window, gets chalked. That's a really great play to get his team an opening. We'll go down for it, but what else can Witness do here? 2.5 minutes on the clock. They're getting desperate.
Yeah, it's... It's dangerous. Brack's going to take out Birdo there, so maybe a little bit less side tunnel pressure, but still nothing they can really push off of here, especially without that Uber. It's so difficult to bust through in tunnel. Lenny wins the SVS on to Poseidon there.
Flores and Pablo will have control of upper. Pablo's running for this medic, trying to get the last shot. Foxy melees him! Pablo lifts and
wait, not quite. Joe chasing Foxy. No, not going to do it. Foxy gets into the spawn, hits that Vanny Bind just in time. And 2 minutes left. Second capped up. I think we're still in the realm of theoretically possible.
Yeah, but Run It Back, they're just going to give away this point for free. They're just going to go build on fourth, make sure they have their sentry gun built up. They get their Uber charge, and 2 minutes should be plenty for this defense to hold. Witness Gaming already spawn camping these shutters, so it will be the second to third snowball, but it took much longer than it took Run It Back.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, they were here in like sub 2 minutes or so. They're going to get the cap. 1:30 left on the clock. That felt a little bit slower than maybe it could have been. But again, they have, you're still theoretically possible. Melon going down, not going to help though. Every frag matters right now. Lenny peeking wide over the garage.
I love Mako playing this close.
Heads, but no.
Look at this Uber. Look at this. Blake gets blasted into the back lines of the enemy. He's all alone in enemy territory. Oh, the Pyro blasts him into the corner. Someone has to open the shutter for Blake. Blake is in no man's land. Blake, go save him. And Blake will get out alive. So, oh, never mind. Blake went on a wild adventure there, and his hope was taken away at the last moment.
Oh man, what a... You almost should just kill binded right off the start if he's gonna die like that. There's no Uber, who's even able to get out, and it's just, it's garbage time right now. We are no longer in theoretically possible realm. Everyone on Witness trying to make it up. Normandy not really succeed. Forward gun by GG, gonna get some pressure in. Blake takes it out with a crossbow. Poseidon right behind it, the more dangerous gun. Arguably, good reflex coming in from Leaf. And that is gonna be, once again, on Swift. The first half going over to Rib.
Yeah, Rib, and honestly, this is way more impressive than what they were able to put up in that regular season match. They looked indomitable on offense, but on defense, they did exactly what they needed to do. It wasn't like they gave away stuff for free. They hard contested second. They made aggressive plays on their second defense. So Rib just looked so locked in coming into the Swiftwater. With a 1-0 lead, I'd say that I think they just look better right now. I feel like Witness Gaming really had nothing going in that entire half.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, in that regular season match they played, the 1/2 Rib took, it was like a minute and a half, even Ubers. Witness 8 up, Cart just gets, like, back out. Which is, that round, it could have gone either way, but it was borderline until, you know, one lapse in concentration caused it. This was all Rib all the time. At no point in that regular season did they look this dominant. They are locked in, they know what they're doing. Lenny, pretty quiet after the week he had last year. I think a lot of eyes were on him, which maybe isn't fair. Yeah. But Poseidon doing a good job of just keeping it even. SVS is probably may even be in Lenny's favor, but I think Poseidon's getting more frags. And then just team effort, really. I mean, the snowball there was so impressive.
Yeah, it's not really fair to put that too much on Lenny, because what can he do on Swiftwater offense where he's trying to go side tunnel, get his team any angle when they're desperate? Log's going to be displayed. Let's see. 11 kills for Lenny, 19 for Poseidon. Poseidon really did pop off. SVS, yeah, Lenny won it 4-3. But, you know, other than snipers, I'm just kind of looking across these logs. It doesn't feel like it's a very log-heavy round in what you're trying to, like, analyze from it. It really just felt like Run It Back played every situation they got put into flawlessly. And Witness Gaming, pressure was on them. They just could not stack up. I think them going into offense first is going to be very, very good for Witness compared to, you know, trying to make up a time like that. So, you know, at least they have that to look forward to, but they need to get something going.
Yeah, because when you come in right off the bat and you get, oh shit, we got 6 minutes to push, you're like, that's not what we're looking for here. You know, you almost expect the first time to be slower because teams are still kind of getting warmed up, but not at all. Rib coming in with the turbo burners on from the start, and I mean, Poseidon just 19-5. I didn't realize he was getting that many kills. I thought he'd be, you know, 2 or 3 up on Lenny, not that many. Granted, 6 of them on Pyro, 3 of them on Spy.
Yeah, what's crazy is that Lenny also got to play the better defensive positions there, where Poseidon didn't get. He got like a couple. He got like half a minute to a minute to play fourth, which is arguably the best point for sniper on this map.
Yeah, that is true. Same with last, not even getting to just sit down and shoot people off card. I mean, it was such a complete victory. It's hard to look at Witness and say like, oh yeah, they need to do this, right?
Yeah, Witness didn't get to play their game. It feels like their defense got rolled over, then their offense, they had the weird exchange on first. I wonder if that's like a planned thing or if they felt forced to just, you know, get the Uber out early. Their second wasn't awful, you know, they tried to make plays, they bled some players, you could do without that, but they got it through in what would on average be a decent time. It's just average was not good enough. They really have to look at their defense and like just wonder, what can we do to stop Run It Back here? They Run It Back. Again, I've said it so many times, they really made no mistakes on offense. You can argue they might have been able to get a faster time if they all-in on last earlier, but for what they were given, they played zero mistake Highlander. And it's so hard to look at that as Witness Gaming and be like, well, here's what we can do different, here's what we can fix in the immediate. You have to make these adjustments now in halftime, otherwise, 0-2 on your map pick? That's a really deep hole to dig yourself into.
Vigil?
Yeah, really deep hole.
Not a good situation for any team to be in. I mean, what the worst part is that looking at the logs, the only thing you can say, oh well, maybe Melon shouldn't get sniped so much forehead. Like
it's so much nothing by looking at the logs.
Yeah, that's probably a symptom of other things. B doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Like the answer is to play better. I mean, you could say Poseidon going 19-5, stay out of the sightlines a little more, but you know that only makes them more passive. That doesn't show them how to win.
Yeah, and I think, again, going into offense, I feel like it's going to be to their benefit for Witness. Setting their own pace, getting to play their own game, that's at least what you want going into your own map pick. You have a game plan, this is your map, you know how you like to play it, so if you're able to give yourself a time to work with, at least that's something here. But like just like that, ready up through, teams want to get into this one already. We'll see what Witness Gaming can do on their offense. They need to make up a round deficit, otherwise, again, that hole they'd be dug into from an 0-1 opening is really big.
Yeah, and this isn't how you want to lose it either. It's not like it's a crazy 2-1, right?
Yeah,
where it
you
could have gone
lose
either
it
way.
just
Then
by
you go
looking
into
inferior.
Vigil. No, you don't even get to like know what your issues are. Other than that, we're getting outplayed, and that's refreshing to lose in a scrim, awful to lose in a match because it doesn't give you any way to improve. You can't say, oh well, if our med doesn't get stabbed, or oh if we push forth a little better, or oh if we back out a second faster, we would have won. No, you're just thinking, okay, we got to do everything better on every point.
Yeah, first thing for them to look at on defense is how they play their second Uber exchange, because the milk was bad for them in the end. Obviously, things can change based on what their time is like on offense, but, they'll have to save that one. If they are going to be looking to do an offense here, Gates about to drop. They didn't even get to try pushing forth or last for real, so we'll get to see what Witness Gaming had planned with this as their map pick.
3, 2,
Exactly here. I'm very interested to see if they take that first Uber again.
Yeah, the first Uber.
I don't hate it in theory, because if you do it early enough, you figure you're probably going to get
Yeah.
pretty soon, and if maybe you get a bunch of kills, maybe something good happens, right? And you can snowball into second off of that. I have a feeling that might have been a result of the time pressure, but Lenny going to win the SVS again onto Poseidon. So
Well,
no sniper already.
Yeah, they could walk out their med if they want to, but Blake sitting in spawn right now. Likely don't want to exchange. Sapper going down
High bomb
onto the...
for Blank.
Yeah, Sapper onto the gun just in time
Oh,
for
good
the
reflex
bomb.
by Leaf.
Yeah, Leaf did so well there to deny both explosive classes while the gun was rebuilding. A lot of frags funneling in for the side of Run It Back here. A lot of car pushers down as well. Like 5 just dead from Witness on this collapse. It's a really great play from the Soldier, Scout, and Heavy. I'll Run It Back to just get these players off, and the car even rolls back down that first hill. That's a lot of time gained.
Yeah, you're probably looking at a minute and a half on this first offense, if not more, which is funny because you think Wit is the team who lays out aggro on first. They're milking time on first. Notice they just, you're seeing good collapses coming from Rib. Strong fundamentals. Your card still hasn't moved.
Yeah, look at... Okay,
Past 10
Pablo's not on
seconds.
cart right now. Pablo, I get you want to get damage on the bridge, but, go push that cart, buddy. Soldier going to be bombing over up top. Mori going to take him down.
Yeah, that's a good pick for them to get.
Wait, they're Ubering. Wait, we're paused. What is happening?
What? This is a cursed
How did
screenshot
Blake
right now.
get in tunnel? Or how did Blake get in the trench? Did he miss the log jump? Did he get blown off by Mako? He probably got blown off by Mako.
He's full.
He is full. What? Okay, first
This
pause the
is-
match. Nice and
So-
early.
So obviously, right, this isn't happening live. They didn't pop an Uber in this
Pause
god-awful
is 90 seconds in
position.
the future.
I don't know, Dolphin, if you could go into third person here. Sorry, say that again?
Mori disconnected.
Mori disconnected, okay. I'm zoomed out on the first side of the point, looking at Blake in river Ubered, staring up at Exile directly above him.
Yeah, I really wonder how this happened.
And Leaf is just sitting in the mouth of tunnel, already ready to reflect.
Yeah, there's even
This does not...
yeah, there's even something getting shot out immediately in reflect. So
Is that those are
Those are
sentry
sentry
rockets,
rockets.
right? Where is the gun?
wait, how did those get there? GG has his I get it. He picked it up, but was his gun really at the front? I guess his gun was at the front, and he just picked it up with Rescue Ranger or something. Looks like the pyro shooting those rockets. That's pretty cool, but. Yeah, this is such a weird screenshot. Okay, if you are Witness Gaming, right, they decided they wanted to walk Blake out and pop their Uber. The point that Blake has full HP points to the fact that Mako probably didn't blow him into the trench with spam. That points to Blake falling, which would be funny if that's the case.
Alternatively, you think he probably gets forced out in the post fight if he makes the jump anyway?
Yeah, maybe
So
a rocket. Maybe
this
he wanted
may
to
be
jump.
how they drew it up, and we
Yeah,
just
maybe he
paused
wanted
at
to jump.
an unfortunate time.
Let's see. If he stays down here, you can keep the beam on Exile for Exile to walk to the other side of the bridge. After that, it'll break. I guess if it gets the players out of tunnel, it's good. But is that really worth your Uber? Because all Foxy has to do is press their S key, and they will not have to counterforce. Leaf is standing here, 230, fully overhealed Pyro, just going to be reflecting the spam. So this Uber is not looking good for Witness, to say the
That's
least.
where he catches Zach. Suddenly Foxy's gonna have Uber out on second, and that's where it all goes tumbling down. But no, I think they waited way too long to pop this. If you're gonna pop this, push
Yeah,
it
do
first.
it
You gotta
initially.
come out one sack, clear the roof, 20 seconds in, pop this Uber, do something with it. Foxy, yeah, not gonna have to use. I mean, Jay Easy behind cart hyphen looks like he's got him dead in his sights. If Pablo gets sniped or stabbed right now, this first hold keeps going.
Yeah, that cart just barely getting up the top of the hill. As we do have word from Dolphin, we have a couple more players hitting that disconnect, server troubles, connection issues, so we're trying to get those guys in as fast as we can to resume this. But this is a really strange look from Witness. From the first seed team, you're not expecting them to look this, I don't want to say desperate, because this, again, might be part of their game plan, but like this, just what we're looking at right now is not indicative of the strong favorite team coming into upper finals.
Very used to seeing anything off meta from Witness immediately working out. You see them tunnel hold on Swiftwater second, instantly good. You see them run full-time crits and forward hold on Product and Grand Finals, instantly good. You see them first hold on Swift, instantly good. Some weird, forward hold on upward third, instantly good. This breaks that chain for me.
Yeah, I mean, we did give them the benefit of the doubt in the first round, where like we thought the exchange had a good idea behind it. We questioned if they did it out of necessity from the 6-minute time against them, or if that was part of their game plan. From seeing this is clearly part of their game plan to force an exchange on first. The question is, and what we've not yet seen, is what does this actually get them here? Because they got the exchange. Okay, they didn't even get the Uber last half. Remember, we saw Run It Back make the decision to recontest. Yeah, repause. So we're going to be getting started here in just a second. But yeah, Run It Back made the decision to recontest. So if Run It Back don't do that, what is this Uber actually getting for Witness? And I do want to see the theory behind this and what the plan is supposed to result in, because we haven't seen first exchanges in a while. As the pause is going to come undone, Uber walks in the tunnel, Exile looking for some damage, hits a good sticky on the Foxy, but can't follow up. Spy almost got in there. Deathjoe could have had cleanup with that revolver, but we're not able to get that force. And this is what I'm talking about. If they don't get that force, what is their plan here? Just sit there and build while they push the cart?
Suppose. I mean, 132 through first, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but initial pressure into second, not really going to find too much of anything right now. And now they're stuck building while Foxy still has full ad.
Yeah, I do have a free. Are we pausing? I have a freeze on my client. I can't really see what's going on right now. I'll retry.
I'd actually hit that right as I stopped talking, so I'm coming right back in a sec. We'll see where we are. Nope, no pause right now. Joe gonna get caught out is really about it. Blake now up to 70%. Is the Uber actually gonna get forced out? I don't know if I agree with this. Jay-Z thought he might have had an angle coming from behind. Got caught out immediately though, and it'd be the curse of the ad on Swift second continues. As they're just suddenly gonna give full ad over to Blake. Exile gonna look to jump in right here. Runs out through tunnel. Damage onto the gun will go down eventually with that Enforcer. Finishing it off. Poseidon loses the SVS as well. Tidy the red combo trapped in upper. Blank and Flu coming in.
What a slip by Foxy.
Chase out to third. A little bit more damage and he's gonna go down. Gets into spawn. They will find the kill. And Zach, I think the move is just never have ad on Swift second.
Yeah, I guess not. The defense just gets baited into using. All of a sudden it's lost. Silver lining, Blake did go down there at the end there for Run It Back, so Ubers will at least be close to even, but with Exile already sticky trapping this walkout, it does look like it's going to be an immediate back up the first for Run It Back. So Witness Gaming, the start looked a bit rough, but at the end of the day, they do have a pretty good Swiftwater second push time, third push time coming up here, so I'd say definitively in this round so far, take everything of what we were saying about them out of context, and we're just into a very normal, fast Swiftwater round.
3 minutes for third. That's fine. Ooh, Dolphin with the good call. Witness on crits right here. So Blake gonna be building significantly faster than Foxy. I have to doubt this has been called, given the pace that this game has moved so far.
Has the opportunity
coming
to
up
right
on
now.
It. Here it goes.
Over the top.
Exile's dead instantly. Laser's gonna come through, but you can just hide behind walls. The crits is a failure. No frags to be found. Exile, the only one going down on his crits. Lenny, Deathjoe, both going to go down immediately after. And it's only going to be a matter of time until the kills here get cleaned up. Blue, Pablo, Melon, all going down. Blake
Exile.
Back into spawn. Now on Uber, I think.
Exile types in chat, wow, amazing crits after he walks into a sticky trap and doesn't get a single sticky off. Yeah, okay.
We love a self-aware king.
We love the crits plays, by the way, when they're, off timing, off tempo, you never really expect them, but I really question the decision to go for it when their time is looking so solid. You could play Uber and just play Uber Leapfrog and get a decent enough time. Either way, gonna be going into this defense continuing. It is back to the stock Uber charge.
We're forced out more
to Blake.
Gonna get caught. Blake caught out into garage right here.
He's on the crates.
A little bit of damage
they can't see
lands.
him. Is Blake gonna get out of dodge onto the back platform, able to keep that Uber, and now 90%. All of a sudden, Leapfrog goes heavily in favor of Witness. They are going to be needing to get some spawners in, but they get a couple picks. Poseidon going down to that revolver from Death Joe. And now they're going to be able to walk up and having to worry about the sniper.
For Chalk. The Uber ad, Zag, it makes me do things. It makes me different.
He's gonna have to study what the hell Uber on Swiftwater even means anymore.
You can think they may have had the kill on Blake there, but it's just, I feel like maybe they're getting cocky and forgetting that the players on Witness are still individually good, and Blake is still very difficult to pin down on one of those, defense has ad that you use in, try to catch out the med there, and they failed pretty terribly and end up basically losing forward directly forward. 507, they could actually match Rib's time here from that first half.
Uber up for the side of Run It Back. Cart's still not really close to that final edge, so there is going to be a bit of a time. There's going to be a bit of time for Run It Back to bleed out here on this defense. Get a bit more time on the clock for them to work with. Remember, they don't need much from what we saw last round, so every second definitely counts in a situation like this. Joe going to have to get his respawn as Uber up for both teams. Blake and his combo going to walk into lobby and looking to take this one up the hallway. Leaf right underneath it. He's going to be here, but can he get a flash in time? Gets one air blast, can't get there.
Yep, they're gonna take the use here. Foxy's still holding. They're losing a lot. The Uber finally popped out. They're already down. They're already down 6.
Wait, everyone died. Uber's popped on one player.
Yeah, they can't even chase anyone out.
Witness. Yeah, Witness is gonna walk this one in. It's just Leaf. What can he do?
There's
Demo Man. There's Demo Man, but it's not enough.
8 seconds faster than Rib's time in the first half.
8 seconds faster, or 8 seconds slower?
8 or 9. It was 6:10 or 6:11. I think it was 6:11.
Yeah, so both teams putting up sub 630 offenses on Swiftwater,
and Rib's
given their
the one
chance.
looking weird here. I mean, I do not think Witness played that well. That was Rib just blowing every single Uber they had, like chasing it. Like they were trying to catch their demons with it, and they didn't catch Blake. Let me rephrase
I don't know.
That. They were trying to catch Blake, and they only caught their demons with it.
I don't know. That was such a weird round. Everything that happened that round was so unorthodox. There was, a single even Uber exchange that happened that entire round? Or something like that?
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Was there?
Because it didn't happen on first, second, or
last.
third. It didn't happen on first, second, or third. It happened on last, I guess?
If you call it 93.
Yeah, 93 even exchange. What a weird round. I don't want to say that Witness Gaming didn't play well there. They did take advantage of Run It Back making all those mistakes. And to be honest, whenever you're able to push the tempo like that, it does force a lot of pressure onto the defense. They have to think about what we actually want to contest, how we're going to respond to it, who we're going to put where to while we charge this Uber. And Witness Gaming, honestly, just able to push the tempo. I feel like that's a good showcase of why they are comfortable on Swiftwater. They were comfortable pushing the tempo. When it was against them in the first half, it's understandable for you to be a bit, shaky. But given the chance that they have there to kind of set the time, set the pace for themselves, I think that was a good performance. And we'll see now if they can hold the 620.
It was a good performance. There were a ton of openings given to them, and they took all of them. It's just that there's the difference between good and great is being able to take openings versus make them. And I don't really think they made any. Rib gave them everything they needed.
We'll see if Rib can do the same thing that they did in the first half to secure the 2-0, or if we're going to be going into a third round here. Rib offense getting that 45-second cap on first. That's the fastest we've seen so far, so they are going to have plenty of time to work with, relatively. But Mori instantly eating a headshot. That means no fast exchange can come through. And Exile, a couple big pipes taking down Mori and Chalk, so offense will need to kind of regroup here, but they are pushing the cart here, so it's not going to be too huge of a deal.
Yep, getting some cart time right now. Still not even getting it to the wooden area at the mouth of the tunnel. The dot on it from Lenny. Gonna try to find anyone on cart. No shots, really. Uber popped out via main, though. They're just gonna jump right up.
He's gone.
Rory catapulted over towards flank. Pablo's gonna find that. That is a free kill. And yes, Blake, yes, do not take ad. Counter pop immediately. They're gonna find everyone. Foxy goes down. And wait, no, I'm wrong. They killed Foxy. Blake has ad now.
Yeah, Pablo running in with that Uber, getting that medic kill and 2 more cleanups at the end. Exile doing tons of damage and then exchanged well, and that one went bad from the word go for Run It Back. Mori jumping up to try and get damage was a huge mistake. Got air blasted by Melon, or hit by sentry rockets all the way into the flank area. Killed with essentially doing nothing in the Uber, so really solid hold by Witness Gaming, did everything right there. And now dry push coming out from run it back. They probably feel pressured on time because these times are so fast, so they just want to keep going. Centrigan goes down. Lenny goes down as well.
Lenny's got dice to spend. They can just walk out.
Exile, the 1 HP, needs to get heals, but he can't get any. Blake right now is just running down the staircase. We'll find heal him, but Sticky's onto Exile. He goes down. There's no one up. It's only Flores. What can he do? Nothing. Gets stabbed by Jay-Z, and the dry push is the most dangerous.
That pea shooter's going to do nothing. Zach, the Uber wasn't a disaster. It gave Witness Gaming ad, which was all they needed.
What does Uber even mean on Swiftwater?
They stay alive.
Oh god, this is terrible for,
Alright,
for
nope,
the
he
side
got
of
rid of
Witness.
that. He got rid of that. He got rid of that.
Blank is dead. They're Ubering into the shutter, securing this third point. Even if they're going to have disad, that's okay. They're probably fine with just getting third in the end. They figure they can keep going afterwards as they already are walking up. Chalk and Mori are here. How much space can they get on this fourth snowball? They're trying to land sticks onto Lenny. Here comes the spy. Jay-Z gets one. Can he get two? The answer is no, but taking down Lenny is huge.
Mako Vana gonna get forced back, but already killing the sniper. Such a big frag right there.
Look at
The
Poseidon.
gun.
He's the furthest forward member of his team. Blank trying to get some damage done here, but we'll just U-turn out of the air. Chalk goes down, but so does Melon. No one can reflect the spam. Fluor is so low.
Joe
Barely
found
gets
Poseidon.
out
That's a huge frag.
Yep, and
In
now
comes
Lenny
in
uncontested.
Blank, gonna get popped up. Leaf's gonna go down next. Foxy running with their life. Gonna make it out right there. But Uber for Blake right now. Foxy only at 50, so a bit
shot.
of stabilization here coming in, Lenny. Yep, he's gonna nail Birdo right there. Jay-Z coming in from behind. He's up on the catwalk. Gonna see if he can find it. He goes for the drop
Onto
down.
Lenny in the force. Yeah,
Gets the
Mako.
set in the gun, too. Oh, he
Yeah.
wasn't going to get anything from that Uber being forced and everyone being invulnerable, but still finds a way to make himself useful and gets out!
It gets out too. Wow, Mako and Jay-Z.
Immediately
Great
jumps
play
back
there.
up onto Cap. Now he's just going to start trying to gun
He's
things
passing
down.
the revolver. No one can deal with him right now, doing so much work. But Mori
forms
overextends
out,
into
gonna
Flores.
drop.
They don't have a
But
double.
in goes Leaf, the pyro over
Onto
my
Leaf.
hero!
He's on the medic! Leaf! Medic kill gets Blake with the WM1! Oh my god, if your demo goes down the Uber, who cares? Give it to your pyro, he'll get the kills.
Blank coming in from behind
he's
with a
dead.
vengeance and a
2 minutes?
death wish. 2 minutes left for last. This is eminently pushable. You know, I feel like we because Rib looked kind of out of it, we didn't realize that they still beat the time that
Yeah, no, I said
Witness
that. They're
put
still
up.
8 seconds faster. It feels like momentum's against them, but they did this last round, and now they're looking like they want to do it again. They will lose Mako, so no soldier available here, but look at this. GG already building up a sentry, going to be put down on the ramp. Poseidon peeking down low. He's been so good in this round so far. SBS might pop soon. Any openings he could get would be massive. In the meantime, the combo, 85% on Foxy. Lenny wins that SBS.
Poseidon trying to be sneaky, crab walking his way into the sight line, not going to have it work out. They do find Pablo in lobby, but unless they get anything else, that's not really a pushable pick. Uber, though, taken up
Blake,
from
so
the
long.
stairs.
Blake
Blake
will
goes
get
down.
safe for now.
Lots
Look
of
at this.
frags
Mako,
coming in.
Mako!
Blake goes down. Mako gets Blake. No, Uber to be
It's
popped
over.
out, and that's over.
2-0 for Run It Back in a 25-minute total game?
Chalk gonna ride that card into his 1-0 map lead into Vigil. Things are getting spicy, Zag.
I did mention it right when we started broadcast, and I feel like this is the most fragile 1 seed we've probably ever seen in Highlander, at least in RGL era. And honestly, just circumstantial evidence, but I feel that just is even more true after what we're seeing here. Witness Gaming, their map pick, they look completely out of it in the first round, and they just show no signs of being able to stop Rib at all on defense. The Swiftwater defense was paper the entire game.
Yeah, they had one brief stabilization on fourth, and then it all just crumbled.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
at the
even
very
a 2-man
least-
sack, even a spy soldier sack. They didn't send anyone else. A spy soldier sack gets your sniper and your Uber and your gun. That's just no preparation.
Jay-Z was a menace
already.
there. I mean, Jay-Z actually bottom scoring the server right now, but felt like he was pretty instrumental in a lot of things. Getting a lot of saps in, getting damage, harassing people, causing them to turn around. He wasn't nailing the frags, but was in on every play, and that's really all you can ask from your spy at this level.
Yeah, and that was just a really quick one. 1-0 for Run It Back in the series. They're one map away from just going to the grand finals with MapAd and going to Vigil. Honestly, they're just the favorites now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw them play Vigil last week into Scortier, and it was a massacre. We saw some insane times. Around 4 minutes, I think, came up, which is never a good sign for the opposing team. So they are really locked in right now and threatening to put up a dangerous offense.
Yeah, we'll have to see which side. Do they get to choose side, or does Witness get to choose side on opponent's map?
I thought you normally get to choose side on your own map.
In that case, I wonder what Witness or what running back you want to pick, but we'll have to see that. So we're gonna load in. Normally we take a break, but honestly, that was a short round. I kind of want to talk about what I want to see more out of for Witness, because they just looked out of it. Like, yeah, they pulled off a 6-minute offense, but it really just felt like they were not playing the game for half of that round or half of that map.
Yeah, at the very least, that second half was more of a fair fight. If they put up another performance like they did in the first half in the second, I was ready to say, pack it up, you know. So that something was in the water, right? They're not looking right tonight.
Witness had more kills in that round by 1, less damage overall. 2 more Ubers for Foxy over Blake. The kills are so weird. Lenny has 15, Pablo has 12. No one, and Flores has 9. No one else broke 6.
Yeah, it's not.
And
I can't even.
Jay-Z had 9 kills. That's more impactful than we probably thought. He was low on the scoreboard because I guess a bunch of them were cleanup kills, but he is so impactful with the cleanup and the sappers and the distraction he was able to make. It really just felt like Run It Back were firing on all cylinders, and Witness had no response.
Yeah, it's difficult. Again, it's the same thing like in the first half, right? Even though, you know, you clearly saw that Witness was a little bit more locked in that second half, there's no easy fixes for them.
Yeah, it's no easy fixes, because the easy fixes are the ones that show up on logs a lot of the time, or at least the ones that are really easily apparent in the server, where it's like big sweeping changes you make. We're going from payload to payload, so some of that mindset may stay similar, but even just looking at the logs, what are you really gonna say? Like, what, Melon had 100 DPM? Like, who cares? Who cares how much, what your Pyro's doing for damage? Like maybe Joe could be getting more impact, maybe Exile could be doing more damage, but like that's not any of the stuff you're going to be thinking about when you're looking at improvements to make after getting swept on your map pick. Witness Gaming are being posed with a problem right now, and I have no idea what the solution is for them.
I stop having Uber ad, apparently.
Uber on
that's what he's coming back
that
to.
VOD needs to be reviewed, and everyone needs to take a good look on the offseason and wonder, what does Uber mean on Swiftwater? Because I don't think anyone knows anymore.
Means bad decisions, apparently. Which maybe is a good thing for Witness Gaming, because it's proving that they're the bigger enemy and not Rip.
Biggest enemy is themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be nice for them if that was the case? Then they could just stop kicking themselves and then they'd be in the game.
I mean, I think here, Chalk is gotta be a huge mood maker for this team. This, you know, it's the meme's feeding back in on itself, right? This is his map, he knows it, he's confident, he's feeling good. They just upset Witness on their own map. They're coming in with home. This is the most home field advantage you could have on a map outside of maybe putting me on Vanguard. And I feel like we've seen this roster do well when they've big gamed heavies in the past, thinking about Tsukimo last season on Product. I would say, you know, if you're lacking something, go for Chalk, take down the morale, take down, you know, the big pool of health, have Joe just focus in on him, because I don't think he's playing to the potential that we expect. Maybe it's hard to come back in, you know, it's he mentioned to me in some DMs that we are in a crust meta right now. She may not be as used to on Spy, but he's definitely not putting up a performance that he's satisfied with. So keep it simple. Go for the heavy, take him down, have everything work from there. Maybe that's your starting block. You gotta start with something.
Speaking specifically on Joe, I saw some logs over his past couple weeks of play that, quite frankly, look abysmal. I do agree with Joe. This meta for Spy that we're playing in 2024 is way worse for Spy than it used to be back in the days where, you know, he was playing Platinum and early seasons RGL. So it is hard to come back in after not playing for a while and just be thrown to this meta. That said, like you said, Ken has the ability to put it more and will likely need to if Witness have any chance of winning this match. You just need to see more across the board from all of Witness's players. Like, it is not one person here who can make all of the difference. They need to all be playing up to their potential, and they need to be playing as a team, because Run It Back just looked like the complete team here.
I mean, this is not... If there was a sniper that I thought put up 180 frags last week in their match, I would probably lean Poseidon over Lenny right now. He is not showing up. I've seen really nothing from Exile nor Flores that gives me any sort of, you know, mojo in them. And Pablo and Blank on Flank have been surprisingly quiet.
Yeah, part of that to me is that, like, what Pablo was playing well in the last half. He had tons of cleanup kills. We saw him take that Uber on defense and just destroy the opposition. My game crashed, so I'll hit that relaunch. But for Blank, definitely is a player who we expect to have a lot more impact on Soldier. Granted, he's having to play payload, and on one of those payload Swiftwater, and probably on Vigil, he's going to be a banner bot, or at least need to focus on building that banner. So I don't know, it just really just has to be all improvement from across the board for Witness, as they're going to be going on defense first, looks like.
Yes, they will be on defense. I'm very interested to see any first holds we have, because as I mentioned, I was playing an advanced on Vigil Week and felt like every team was trying to do a first hold. So where do we see the gun being built up? Am I blind? Do I not see it at all? It's probably being built at spawn.
Yeah, I see it and spawn through the wall as I'm loading into the server.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
Are you not in yet?
No, my game crashed. I'm about to go.
You've missed out on time to hunt the ducks and warm up.
Unfortunate. I'm so sad for that missed opportunity.
Foolish. Quite foolish.
If it is the case that Run It Back had side select, I like them picking offense here. They just destroyed Witness gaming offense. Witness had no response on stopwatch defense. Running that momentum through is exactly what I think you should do.
Yeah, honestly, actually, I have forever been a proponent of picking defense first, but when you come out like this is a situation where I think it's justified. You know you're confident on this map, you have the opportunity to just come out with a super quick hook, and yeah, flank hold fully here. No one even playing near hill other than Flores and Pablo on the tunnel side of things. The telly exits there, the gun in the middle of flank right here. Interested to see what happens here. From my experience, the best way to push this is just Uber a heavy demo up tracks.
Well, they're Ubering their demo through the side as Mori gonna take a solo here onto the gun, trying to lay some damage onto it, but they don't even get any damage onto that gun. They do get the counter Uber out of Blake for now, so neither team with that Uber charge. Shock 8 a shot, gonna be going down. Def Joe as well, not available for this follow-up, as the rest of the combo for Run It Back gonna be rotating onto the cart. Mori trying to spam some sticks up this ramp. Big bomb from Mako. Does a decent amount of damage onto the Pyro and stays alive, actually. He's gonna be a bit of a nuisance. Flores, Exile, and Blake all go down. Those are really big kills to lose in short order. Here comes the scout. Pablo will get one, but just dies to GG in the end. And they just lose 6 Witness Gaming, or 5, and they're just gonna have to back up.
They're waiting. They're waiting. They're trying to catch Blake in. Fire
Blake
gets on him. In comes GG. Pull out the fist. Not gonna need it. No melee kill on the mid. But yeah,
so sloppy from Witness.
I said this during the Vigil. No, I didn't say this during the Vigil cast. I lied. I think I said this. Did I say this last week on Vigil? I'm not convinced the first hold is worthwhile yet. It's because of that happening exactly.
It's so sloppily played, right? I get the forcing the exchange on the side. That's fine. The theory of forcing an Uber exchange so the offense has to spend time building is static. That's a constant idea from Stopwatch. We've seen it on Upward for years. Even Swiftwater, we just saw a team start Ubering the tunnel last round, but you have to be able to make the backup happen. It feels like they got completely caught off guard by Run It Back re-pushing them up tracks. I mean, that's obviously the next step that's going to happen. And they lose everyone. And now Uber from Run It Back trying to catch players, and they catch Blake again. Mako just kills him in the spawn shutter.
Yep, couple of frags going back, but getting the med is more than enough.
The gun's going to die. There's no engineer.
Yep, gun goes down. Yep, Flu going to try to defend what he can, but once the offense starts getting spawns back, they should be able to flood in here. Not a whole lot of card time, maybe the one saving Grace, but it will be a big ad for Foxy right now.
Yeah, still no heals out. Blake just now getting that respawn. Mori gonna walk up these tracks, try to lay down some spam on this corner. Everyone is in for Run It Back. They want to get this cart up the hill now. Pyro's gonna be huge here. Where is Leaf? The answer is in bracket. He's gonna try to walk forward. Melon gonna try to air blast, but gets blast out. Can't even get to the cart. That's a third cap instantly. Melon, Lenny, all gonna die. So will Pablo. It's a disaster. Witness Gaming are honestly looking like a non-playoff team right now.
Yeah, Blake escapes into spawn with Hyphen, and that's really it. Mori's already up there too, gonna kill the gun, getting
sticks. What do you do here? You're getting
spawn
camped on Shutter last.
Chalk already in the head glitch. This could be a last roll.
Mako and James are the only on the other
50.
side.
This might
the other
just
side.
be
They're all from the other side. They're gonna get some players out. Mako can't hold it alone. Yeah, Exile's dead
huge
though.
Pick there.
Hyphen's dead
at 75.
No,
Blake just needs to build up Uber here. They have a little bit more cart time left.
They're just
it's not
trapped in
even
a corner.
at the bend yet. But yeah, they're trapped. Lenny
That's a big
fighting
pick.
beside him. Really big right there. But the Uber comes out. They know it.
But they're
Blake
gonna wrap on
just gonna
flank.
get in time. Blake wrapping them flank
he's
right
just
here.
He's just here with a heavy. Look at this! Jay's disguise. They don't think it's real.
They don't
Heavy
even-
on a cart. He's gonna
Just
stab.
he's gonna get stabbed. The nuke coming in on
What
cart
the
324.
What the fuck was that, dude? Are Witness
New
Gaming
rip
awful?
record.
Okay. Okay. There are two schools of thought we can put forward here. One, Witness Gaming are just so far beneath their ceiling of play right now that it is unbelievable. The other is that Run It Back are far and away playoff favorites. It could be a mix of both. Because they look untouchable on stopwatch. Their snowballs are perfect.
It's gotta be.
They know
it's a mix of
exactly.
both.
Run It Back. Okay, let's focus on Run It Back here. Run It Back take every single advantage they're given on payload and push it as far as they can. When Witness Gaming overstayed on first, Stickies, everyone else immediately spawned camping second shutter. When Witness Gaming had to play from disad on third and still had people spawning, immediate bomb into the spawn shutter, pick onto the medic. When Witness Gaming wiped half their team on third trying to last second defend and had to get pushed back to last, instant entire team on front shutter, instant flank classes on back shutter. Run It Back are playing the snowball game on stopwatch better than I'd say any team I've ever seen in the history of Highlander.
3, 2, 1.
Relative to their skill level, maybe hard to say when you consider some of the individual players we've seen throughout the years, but it
I
really
would say that the
feels
team
like
play is better than those teams though.
no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, for the team play alone, relative to that, because you look at like this should still be the Witness Gaming on paper that rolled almost every team throughout the regular season, and they just look lost. Like before, they would run into teams that were like this, you know, like in this rib mold and the helm mold that have really good, you know, abilities that you see an Uber exchange coming off on flank, and Exile just getting skybox. They're just keep shooting at him.
He might kill the medic. He just That's hilarious from Exile. He gets skybox, comes back down, and kills the medic anyway. Okay, we've not been casting this offense seriously for Win It so far because the time is so far gone. They still technically have a chance, and with the pick onto Foxy, that's the first piece of this very complicated puzzle.
They got a minute. They got 2.5 minutes to go through 3 points. I mean,
It's still
possible.
possible. They have 30% ad. But with Lenny dropping just like that, it's so hard to contest. Poseidon, he's just gonna go up and headshot Melon too.
The
Look at
difference though
James,
is-
he gets 2. How? He's all alone in Thunder.
All right, that might be it. I mean, legitimately though, like this is the difference, right? They managed to
gets
implode on
shot.
first early enough, and managed to get players back on second. They didn't get full rolled throughout it.
It's so scuffed for Witness right now. What do you even do here? Okay, they have Uber advantage. It's 30% ad. They should know it's ad. Def Joe's in, gets the sap onto the gun. The gun should get taken down. But look at this. Oh, Foxy barely makes him
Down kills.
spawn.
Maury's gonna go down. That's it. They
Yeah,
got
that's
Maury
fine,
and
though.
Gigi. They're already down numbers on a full
That's
Uber
perfectly
ad.
fine. They're just gonna walk out with Foxy. But look, Exile's dead. With no Devilman to spam the shutter, they can walk back out here. Jay-Easy gets clean up onto Exile and Melon. The combo is wiped.
Blanks in deep on the side of it. He gets lit on fire and he's gonna
They don't even
burn.
have to pop. Foxy doesn't even have to pop. They just push out of shutter with their bodies, and it works.
Yeah, this is
And Jay-Z
rough.
killed Blake with a revolver, insult to injury. This one's done.
Yeah.
How does he get
we're,
another,
we're moving
guys?
into, we're moving into match point and it's not even 11 p.m. yet.
Okay,
Jay-Z is running a train on Witness Gaming right now.
The match is over. Witness Gaming are so mental boomed right now, it's not even funny. This is the most mental
They're
boomed
moving
I've ever
into
seen a
the
first seed.
spawn on first. Hyphen's gonna go down. Yeah,
This is the most mental boomed I've ever seen a first seed. This is insane.
Oh man, but they didn't go undefeated, so we can't say this is a cuties.
It's so strange. What a strange match.
All right, I'm gonna tangent here.
Go
How
ahead.
can you look at this half and say, yeah, no, the forward holding Vigil first has sound theory behind it?
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that it's not being done optimally, but it really just feels like the security of second is very valuable, and it's going to take a lot of implied value out of their first hold to make it worth it in your game planning.
Yeah, no, Witness not even walking out of spawn. They
Yeah.
know that this is over. They're just
Well, they
theorizing
can't
for the
even
next
cap
half.
it. There's no reason to even put your fingers on your
Don't
keyboard
make
at this
them-
point.
Yeah, don't just think. Don't even worry about playing. Time's gonna run out, and yeah, that was...
I'm flabbergasted.
That was I'm trying to find a family, a corn husking, an oyster shucking. They were peeled and quartered there.
Yeah,
The skin was cut off with the heart still beating.
that is not a typical upper bracket finals from your first seed team. We've seen occasionally the first seed will thrash the second seed that hard. It doesn't even happen that often. Normally the matches are at least somewhat competitive, especially in recent years. This is a whole different ballgame. I feel the need to praise Run It Back even more than we already have. I mean it when I say this. This has to be the best stopwatch I've ever seen played in Highlander from a team perspective.
Between a 1 and a 2 seed, yeah. Like, the gap has... Not between a 2 and a 1 seed. I mean, there may have been seasons, right, where teams were beaten harder than this because you had a 1 seed that was just so much better than everyone else, right? And, like, but that's not good payload play. That's just DM checking people. Rib is not DM checking people. They lost their med to a frag clip on first, and it doesn't matter. They just steamroll them on second anyway.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the match is not over for those of you just tuning in. It's currently 1-0 Run It Back in the map score. They upset Witness's map, and now they lead 1-0 on Vigil. One more round is all they need to go upper bracket finals, clean sweep, or to go grand finals rather. Grand finals, clean sweep, undisputed favorites to win the title. And it just feels like such an overwhelming mountain for Witness to climb here. Run It Back, they're doing everything right. Witness have not had a single response all game, all match. You can argue their push on Swiftwater, they showed signs of life there, but with the way they were able to play defense, it was never going to happen. And if you are Witness, right, I think obviously you try your best to win this last round. You know, you're mental boomed. They are mental boomed right now. Make no mistake. You lock in. You try your best to play this round of Vigil. If you go to lower bracket, so what? Take this as a learning experience. Go into losers finals. You know you can win that match. You've beaten both those teams before. And when it comes to a potential Grand Finals rematch, I don't think you can allow a double Koth ban. I think you have to play them on Koth. You have to pick a Koth map.
Yeah, you need to, and that's scary, right? Because now you can never force a double Koth. It will always be double stopwatch, and Rib has no reason to not take that bet. I mean, I'm looking at the logs, Zach, and I think I'm beginning to actually realize what might be wrong here, and that's Jay-Easy doesn't die.
Yeah, 12 and 5.
He's been on DR's bicycle the entire time. So is he always getting tons of frags? No, he went 12 and 5 that
He's top fragging in the server.
Dropped 517 DPM. That was not happening in Swiftwater, but he's always alive.
Okay, I do want to say his kills are slightly inflated by the very end of that defense, where he was essentially handed 3 kills by very tilted players. But he's still, the not dying point rings true. He's able to do so much work. He's playing a fantastic match, and I really think he's being insane boon to his team. But on the other hand, so is everybody. No one on Run It Back is playing a bad game right now. It's so hard to look. Names notwithstanding, take all the names off the scoreboard, compare performance only. Run It Back just looks superior in every position.
Birdo didn't die. Doesn't help. But I mean, I mentioned the Jay-Easy one because that to me feels like the easiest thing is to, I mean, yes, it's Bicycle DR, it's not easy, but like, you can kill the spy. You can crust for the spy and kill him, right? Now suddenly every single thing you're doing is not being live streamed. You're not constantly turning around. And I wonder if you go back, how many kills he has contributed to just by making people turn around on collapses, because his timing has been impeccable.
Being a presence with a revolver. We've seen him so many times walk up in a spot like the Spy Classic, you know, choose your own fight, pull out your 60 damage a bullet revolver, and just be a nuisance. He's just doing that so well, while also getting backstabs too.
Team's rated up 8v8.
What is that? Yeah,
we got two. We got
up
two.
8v8, but they're in the spec.
We got 2 in the bathroom.
Yeah, 2 in spectator.
Finishing it up. Maybe Leaf. Maybe Witness is banking that Leaf being in spec what they need to.
They agreed to the they agreed to the 8v8.
Did they just re-exec? I think they.
It looks like a re-exec. Yeah.
Didn't see anything come up in chat, but I would imagine that.
Yeah, if there's a death, it's a re-exec.
Yeah. So they would have been in setup otherwise. So waiting for some bodily functions to be taken care of. I mean, if I'm Witness, I'm not rating. I'm surprised they rated up as fast as they did. That to me speaks more of the middle boom than anything. They're saying, okay, yeah, we're done this week. You know, hit the showers, come back on the weekend, win the lower bracket, and retake this from lowers. But
I mean, quite honestly, well, there are some mentally strong players I know on Witness. I have to imagine that they have more prone to boom players than most playoff invite teams. I'd say probably all of them.
I don't know. You can only be so resilient when you're getting the life squeezed out.
Yeah, but if you think about it, right, Somebody Help has had that happen to them for seasons of Invite Highlander, and they've been a team all this time, right?
I don't know if that's fair, because you can't compare. It's one thing going into a match knowing you're probably going to get rolled and then being like pleasantly surprised when you make a map close, versus coming in as the first seed on a team that, yeah, the match 2-1, but in context, Rib got thrashed pretty hard, and just getting dismantled.
I honestly, I was talking about this in pre-cast, maybe some as the cast started, but I really feel like this Witness Gaming is the weakest we've ever seen. I think they know it too. I think they know that they're not in good form. After you lose product to the 4th seed with your sniper dropping the greatest stat line of all time, how can you be confident in your team to win games after that? Like, yeah, you 2-0'd both stopwatches after. You were supposed to sweep that match 2-0, not dropping around.
I mean, you say supposed to. They lost to that team in the regular season.
Yeah, but those are those caveats where it's steel, you don't have anything to play for, the other team has everything to play for. You can argue they phoned it in. You're not supposed to phone the playoffs in. You're supposed to win.
And maybe that's part of the problem, right? You phone it in week 7, you're not playing at your best, and it just, the kind of, the haze carries on. The fog, if you will. Shout out, that's a callback. If anyone remember the Highlander team, the Fog? They were also disappointingly mediocre compared to their roster strength, which is what Witness Gaming is doing right now. Comedy genius. I'll be here every Monday.
I mean, we need some comedy out on the stream at this point, because right now it feels like we're reading an obituary. Like, there's comedy and there's tragedy, you know? Like,
this is one half away from being what's a eulogy.
Yeah, and if you are Witness, what do you even do? What are you even saying in your mumble in your Discord or whatever at this time? What are you even talking about?
No thoughts, head empty for about 3 minutes, then zone back in, and you're starting the match over again. It's got to be it.
I have zero faith in them. I really don't have any faith in them to be competitive versus Rib on a stopwatch. After seeing what's been going down this entire night, I just can't see it. They're gonna give it. They should give it their best chance. They gotta, but they gotta really shut me up. It has to be one hell of a caster curse for anything to change here.
Yeah, you know what? I'll start it off for them. Rib is going to win this half uncontested.
Damn.
The curse has been set.
1-1.
We blink.
You blink,
we blink and we're just tapping the card. 254.
The Twilight Zone happens. You have no idea what just happened.
I mean, honestly, you know, I think anyone who's played right has like ego watched the other team's stream pov after a win. I wouldn't even want to. Like, I've got a bit of more curiosity as to what Witness's comms are like right now, but I've enough friends on that team that, like, I don't even want to see that. I can only hope that they're still staying positive and finding ways to have fun.
There's one thing when, like, Sandblast is on the team and is going to be yelling at a bunch of stuff, but I really feel like Witness, it's probably dead quiet with the occasional, like, depreciating statement.
That's sad. This is a game. We're supposed to have fun, Zach.
I mean, this is sad. What I'm watching right now is making me equal parts confused and sad. Like...
Alright.
Yes, we're done. We're readied up.
Where are our ducks, Zag?
Dolphin was counting them all pre-game, whereas we're just trying our
Medic
best to stay
top,
sane.
Heavy under the deck.
Witness on offense.
Spy in the resup.
When Witness last played offense first, they did pretty well, right? Maybe they can do something similar. They'll be setting their own pace. They won't be forced to, you know, push second reckless abandon. That's
Snipers off the cliff on first.
let's lift the mood a little bit here. You know, Witness Gaming, they're down, they're not out. Offense first. They did pretty well in Swiftwater. Offense first. We know they have the talent, they have the hands to do it. The question is the mental right now, and if they think they can do it, then, you know, they probably can. We'll see if they actually are able to put up a fight here, as gates are going to drop. Same defensive start for the side of Run It Back. It didn't go too well for them last round, you know? We saw the medic kill from Exile.
I mean, admittedly, if Foxy doesn't partake in the skeet shooting, probably doesn't die there. And maybe that first hold is better, and I'm not so anti. Fast Uber!
Leaf is solo stuck in this. He finally gets a flash. Sticky's dead.
Foxy
That's a really
got
big flash.
knocked up into the flank area. He's gonna walk back
There's
down.
an exchange.
Interesting knockout. Yep, Ubers are out.
Yeah, that's standard. Blank with the bomb over the top, trying to get some damage done. Does a little bit, but not able to get much across. Sentry Gun cleans up a few. Exile and Fluor is going to go down, so not a successful peek from the main cart. Chalk doing a lot of damage from this head glitch. Lenny wins a big SVS against Poseidon, so that's going to give him some angles to work with here. But Chalk still on this hill, still being a nuisance. Will have to back up for now, as it looks like the forward hold has been abandoned. This is how you should do the forward hold if you're going to do it, by the way. The second things don't look good for you on either side, you just take the Uber that you got, take the 30 seconds to a minute, and leave. Rebuild.
The telly is still up.
As both meds on 70% here, Defjo in the back line. We'll see if they want to go for a drive play. He's going to go for the engineer medic, tries for anything. Butter at the sentry, we'll get a sap onto it. No one else is really there to take advantage of it, though. Lenny will peek over and take down Mako, so that's a pretty good entry. SVS about to pop off on the hill. These snipers both want to get this pick for their teams. Uber now up for both sides. We'll see where the exchange rolls come through. Hill for the side of Witness.
Side coming in to catch the bottom half of that Uber. Gonna get Pablo now. The next one gonna get Sky. Leaf, a student of the School of Air Blasting, down. Mori dropped though, right as that's starting to fade. Melon gonna get stabbed. A pyro pick not gonna stop it. Lenny, a little bit more meaningful. Jay-Z in the back causing chaos, causing them to turn. They're gonna get mulched in that choke, and that is
Fluor still has a flank. He has a flank with Blank. They're trying to do some damage here. Fluor still not able to get anything. Chalk, big cleanup on the stackers there, as Foxy able to stay healthy and a really solid defense on that push. I Run It Back. We'll see now them stabilize here. They have 10% ad. They're getting their gun rebuilt. Is there a banner in the cards too? It looks like there is. Mako has been up building that, so solid defense so far. And if you're Witness, you know, it's not alarm bells yet, but you have to be able to take the second before too much longer. You know what you're going up against when the side swap.
Yeah, and that collapse from Blank and Flume felt just like 10 seconds delayed. Otherwise, it could have been incredible.
100%
Uber. You know, they're off. Uber's going to come out, though. Blake only at 90. He's going to get forced down the hill. Lots of pressure coming in.
Yeah, Melon
Rip
doing a great
feeling
job.
forced to pop that here. Going to fade out right as Blake gets. So full Uber ad. Witness finally have the ball in their court to make something happen. Can they make the shot?
Yeah, we'll see. Looks like they want to take this Uber through tunnel. That's a good decision when the cart is this far out. Defjo leading the way, calling these stickies in a likelihood. Uber out of tunnel. Everyone gets a flash. Banner popped out. There it is from Mako. Everyone's staying healthy as a result. They're going to sack up on top of the hill. Cart getting pushed, though. Run It Back. Need to get on top of it if they want to stall a bit longer. Melon going to go down, but that cart cap is through, and Witness get it. Look at that. Soldier onto Blake. Blake, 1 HP. Rocket going to miss. Poseidon looking for it. Gets shot by Lenny across the map. Blake barely gets kept alive.
Jay-Eazy's still behind, but where is Blake? Getting the pack up in,
It is fine.
Yep. I mean, they got the full Uber ad. They're able to push it. They're already forward into third right now. Not excessively so, but they have some ground. Lenny going for some aggro piece. High bomb, yep. Coming in from Blake. Great reflex. Oh, absolutely. Uno reverse card right there. Uber's actually going to get popped out.
They think they just bought from Jay-Z. Blake is stuck in the corner. One more sticky will do one pipe, and he will find it. That's great timing from Jay-Z to go in with the Uber and body block Blake. He got put in, and it's a full ace.
It's a 9 for 0. I was scared that Uber wasn't going to turn out too well, and I was wrong.
It's such good team play, man. Even if that's not going to show up on Jay-Z's stat sheet at the end there, just the ability to be in position right where your team wants to Uber, to body block that medic into an unwinnable position. It's such good team play. Doing that consistently is indicative of a superior Highlander team. Really is.
We actually see a team pop off on defense and catch the med with it, which feels like it's been absent this entire game. Jay-Z caught out. They killed him. He's dead. Joe gonna be the trade, apparently.
He sacked for the sap on the gun, so that's a worthwhile trade.
But Lenny, Exile both going down. Those two classes.
Again, Chalk
not gonna go
Chalk
too far.
Chalk gets the pack. Chalk wins it with the help of his soldier. That was crazy. He was at such a big diss out there and managed to barely stay alive.
Yeah, it's that Uber. Just when it felt like Witness had some wind in their sails, that Uber comes out and just aces them, and that's takes it all out. They're gonna have to do the long flank push now. Yep.
Yeah, Jay-Z waiting around the corner for anyone to walk up. Will look for Exile, not going to find him, but he calls his team to run forward. They're just going to Uber into Witness. They don't even want Witness to get past brackets. I really like that play, actually. Don't even let them spam you on the corner. Stop them before they can. And now look at this. Bomb in. Soldier Spice. Heavy. All of them are collapsing. It's perfect. 2K from Jay-Z to try and get more kills. Shock peeking over the top. Gets Melon. Doing more damage. Can't quite get any more. Defense, though, lost a lot for that. They sacked too many players in.
Yeah, not getting Blake for it either. Blank being the consolation prize for them. So they will get this card up. I mean, not a terrible time if they can get last quickly. You're probably looking at 5 minutes, 5.5 here. So if they can get, you know, you can still manage a 7-minute last time, which is definitely holdable in a normal game. Whether or not you can do that against Rip, something different. But, Blake gotta find Jay-Z. That seems to be step one for good things happening. As, their rotates cannot be called right now. They're starting to spread out over flank. Lenny gonna maybe go peek from Big Door. Looks like it.
Yeah, Blank taking presence over here on the side. Lenny going for that peek onto the combo. Reflect going down onto the gun, but Believe is in the vulnerable position while he's doing that. Gun taken very low by just dry spam outside. Blake now on full Uber. Foxy on 90. Defense will get in time here as Mori walking out, trying to get some spam, but Mori thoroughly punished for that one.
Yep, and Ubers are going to come out. Nothing for the defense. It's going to be a Pyro getting the full defensive use. Joe getting Ubered in to help kill the gun. He's going to pick up Birdo, actually. Maybe the Spider-Bird when he needed all this time. Grabs in favor of Witness right now. Foxy caught out. Exile with the stickies behind him. Gets the kill. Chalk trying to wrap through flank, but he is thoroughly called. Going to go for the long flank through Big Door. But maybe too little too late. Hyphen's got a level 3 up. And
there you go.
I told you killed Jay Easy. Good things happen. And that's a 1:10 last time. That's the best Witness has looked all match, I feel.
Yeah, you can argue their Swiftwater first was maybe a little bit better. Swiftwater offense first half or second half was maybe better, but either way, they've shown they are capable of pushing at times equal, if not competitive, with Run It Back here. The test is on defense. They have been a paper defense all night. The match is on the line here. Can they hold 7-ish minutes, 6:46? If the answer is no, I just can't say they deserve to win.
Yeah.
They've given themselves a chance, but, you know, there's two halves of the game.
In most other times, I'd say 6:46 is a pretty solid time, but,
yeah, but
in this, it feels like it's 2.5 minutes
They just
too
got
long.
like 320 forward, you know? Like, they got to hold twice as good as they did last time.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, it really is. Is now Run It Back taking the field for their offense. These have been phenomenal all night. We'll see if they can put another one up, another gold star on the resume here, and get that 2-0 across. When it's gaming, last chance saloon. You gotta, if you want to extend the match, prove that you can hold a point.
Has this core of players ever been multi-map swept?
That's a really hard question to answer.
I mean, it's a lot of different cores coming into this, but it's difficult to believe that we've ever seen an upset this. What's the word? Not sudden, but like
Jay-Z
complete, maybe.
won, and he's trying to fight the spy or the scout.
If he gets the
shot.
kill, I'm cutting the cash short.
Yeah, Pablo at least cleaning that up. Well, Blank dead, no banner can be built, and we didn't talk about it. Witness Gaming pulling back to the standard hold. They did not like holding out on first, and it doesn't matter. XL will still get sniped by Poseidon taking the flank angle.
That's a stinky Exile death right there. He has no reason being that far up when most of his team is in second.
He wasn't really that far up.
He's peeking chicken wire when his gun was pulled.
Yeah, I mean, you should know Poseidon's there. That's the truth. Uber gonna come out. Exile is not here to deny this with stickies. It is a free walk up here. Immediate counter has to go to Blake. Yeah, gonna get flashes onto the Pyro here. Melon trying her best to air blast back, but exchange goes off without a death from either side. Blank trying to get some charge, but has to go back. GG walks into the side all alone. That's an engineer death, but a bit off time. The rest of the team will now be walking over the hill. Gun still undamaged. A lot of damage coming down to Lenny here. Taken very low, has to back up, get some kills. Blank is dead, so no banner again. The Soldier's not been able to stay alive on defense, but they do find Chalk, which is a really huge pick to find.
Still behind, being a nuisance, but hasn't found anything, and I question...
He's drawing Flu to look for him.
But if the team's not pressuring, this is free.
Oh, wait, the timing. He's not get seen. Sapper onto the gun will get taken down with the help of some sticky bombs. Exile dies as well. Mori,
There
tons
we
of
go.
damage on the ground. Look at Blake. He's half HP on the
Chalk
dispenser.
sneaking up main though. Gonna find Blake Leviton that gets good damage. Gonna find Pablo, but no
There's
other
Uber.
kills.
Blake has 90.
Uber comes out. Yeah, Blake, the Uber
They
built
don't build
faster
fast
on
enough, yeah.
offense. They're not going to have to repop to save this. What a great use of that ad.
Yeah, they're able to keep track of every single second they have. They get the kills they need, run it back, and they're able to take second very easily. That said, it's not going to be a clean snowball this time. Blake has this Uber, but good opening from Jay-Z, and he lives too. How can you let a spy stab a sniper in the middle of your team and live?
Great question, but I do want to say, Rib may not have even known they have ad there because it was so small, but when you use your Uber right as things happen, you play fast and aggressive, good things happen.
Chalk comes up through the underneath tunnel, is being a decent distraction here. Uber forced out from Witness here, trying to walk forward to find
Foxy hit
12
low.
HP. No one can follow up, just barely out of dodge. They're able to keep that 80% Uber. Really good movement to get out right when she needed to. And just like that,
And compare
full
that
ad.
to the exact opposite, right?
Yeah,
That
Blake got
same
caught.
Uber got taken by Rib last round, and it led to a full team wipe.
Yeah, just not enough people in at the right places to guarantee that medic death, and it's going to be a big negative here for Witness as they try to hold third for a bit longer. Level 3 gun on the tracks, Uber coming around the corner, trying to find wherever they can. Lenny just dead immediately. Sap not able to come onto the gun, but it goes down either way. Pyro getting on the corner, turning these players back. Look at Chalk taking a wide angle, then playing his life. Cart going up the hill. Blank doing a big amount of damage here, and they do wipe the Cart players, but it does get up the hill. Chalk now all alone in the back lines will get taken down. Cart just barely not rolling back. Look at Leaf goes up to try and airblast fight Melon. Skybox, but Leaf stays alive. Melon dies. Spino on the Cart has to be Exile jumping on it. They do continue to get taps, and Jay-Z is alive somehow still. But with that kill onto the side, there will not be that many avenues to get more kills.
Yeah, 10 plus seconds before this card starts rolling back. Daisy
Someone should die to
down
tap.
on flank. He needs to go in on this. This is 7 seconds left, but he's on
GG
DR.
should do it.
Gonna
GG
get
should do
popped.
it.
Oh, he
GG got
dies.
it.
Doesn't have the DR up, but they
GG
get
got
on
it.
card. Yep, and they get the Uber off too.
How did
That's a
they get the Uber
bonus.
off? Yeah.
They're
Oh,
so
you know
scared
what
of
it
giving
was?
up this third.
Yeah, Witness Herbson thought it was a full card set coming, but it was only 3 players.
When you play aggression, good things happen, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good play by Rib to fake the full commit, but you have to be sure that all the people are coming. It has to be a calm your
Blank
slide
high
making.
bomb coming in on flank. The Uber's gonna come out and it's all for
Stop on the
naught.
gun.
Use right in then.
And Jason
Needed to get
Lenny
the
just
drop.
three-shotting him. It's perfect. It's just such an easy push coming through. Granted, the Uber ad will make that happen. Blake safely out to spawn 50%. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. Still doable for both sides, but you gotta imagine momentum is on the side of run it back here once they get the supercharge, and they're getting even more
just
kills.
deleted. Mori just shoots 2 lock and load pipes. Ding dong. That is a dead pyro.
Look at this, they're stuck in spawn. Jay-Z will get
Yeah.
piped down, but Lenny dead again.
Poseidon finds
Poseidon.
Lenny. That is no sniper to peek this. This is such a gnarly angle.
Oh
Gonna
my
find
God,
Blue
Blue
Ball
dead.
is next.
The
Gonna
Uber
force
gets the
the
force out
Uber
of
out.
spawn. Foxy
Foxy
one shot!
dies instantly. Great damage coming in from Exile. Leaf's gonna be next. Chalk to clean up. They find Blank, but that's
Wait.
gonna be
they
not
got
quite
him
it. A
close.
couple kills down. Definitely more in favor of Witness though.
Wait,
But Poseidon up on flank.
Jay-Z
Finds
dead
Hype.
ringers. He's still gonna be up. They're not gonna expect him so fast on the dead ring. Oh, they turn it just in time.
Oh, just in time. If he got a stab onto anyone important, then that would have been disastrous. GG. In respect the hustle, not gonna find anything. But
Minute 15.
Foxy going down was so big there. They died instantly. 150-0.
That's on Foxy. With the second that Uber gets called, you have to be out of dodge. You can't AD in front of Red Room like that. As Defjo going to be calling out this rotation underneath, up to the flank. Big bomb up here to try to get some damage. But he gets stuck. Blank. You don't normally see him mess up movement like that, and he's just going to go down.
Yep, Lenny though winning the SPS under Poseidon means that all of Witness can play wide. Huge
With the
frag
soda
right
bomb.
here. 50 seconds
1
left.
HP dead.
Make him blink goes down. They find the kill. The sticky from Mori finishes it off. It is going to be dominoes falling here, one after another. Lenny trying to salvage, but he's
it.
one man. Can only do so much. The reflect air shot for an exclamation point as Rib 2-0, 2-0, making a 4-0. That's a square sweep. Square sweep, I
squeep.
can't talk, of Witness Gaming.
Yeah, that was a
The-
squeeping all right.
One of the biggest upsets, if not in terms of seed, in terms of overall performance.
Yeah, that was an insane match for Run It Back, proving that they are incredibly superior on stopwatch. it really felt like even if their defenses could leave some to be desired, their offenses were so perfect across the entire night that you can't even fault them for giving up, 6-7 minute times if they're just gonna push in 3 to 6 every time.
I mean, you don't want to give in to the meme, but you gotta auto ban Vigil against this team, right?
Yeah, if you are Witness, you have to just want to play Koth here. Like, I get it, you lost product to somebody help with Lenny dropping insane stats, but like, give Lenny a chance to carry. He's very clearly one of the big win conditions for your team.
You cannot look at this and assuming that these two teams play again at some point, which honestly, with how Witness is playing, not guaranteed.
Yeah, not
I know
even
Scorpion
guaranteed.
versus Help, I think, was 1-1, so either team could come out of that, but you can't say that this team is better at Prute than at Vigil after experiencing this. This was soul-crushing.
Yeah, and all congratulations go to Run It Back. They're going to be our first Grand Finals team locked in Season 17, showing that they definitely deserve the chance to play for that title.
Second, and I mean, I don't think we talk about it enough, but Rib is a team, right, that kind of came up, hung around low invite for a bit. We're kind of everyone loved him, but lovable losers, right? 2-3 wins most seasons. Snuck into playoffs once, didn't do too much, and they've just gradually climbed their way up into what, as you said, is one of the best stopwatch performances I've ever seen from a team. Just dominating. Like, this is the type of loss where you finish this if you're Witness Gaming, and you say, all right, see you next week, and you go take a cold shower, and you just sit there and think, like, man, what the hell was that?
Yeah, that was just dominating by Run It Back, and even if Witness make improvements and come back for the Grand Finals, I cannot, in good faith, say that Run It Back are not the favorites when they get to force a double stopwatch.
Yeah, it's a scary time. I mean, what is the improvised VO3 here, right? Because Rib's going to be first seed, so if you assume these two teams, play again in Grands, right? You have... I guess, so you'd start with Witness banning Vigil, right?
Yeah.
I see little reason for Rib to not then ban Asheville.
Yeah, continue the Asheville ban.
They pick Swift?
They just picked Swift. I feel like... Okay, they either pick their best Koth or Swift, or for Run It Back...
Rib should not pick Koth. That's a game thrower if they do.
Rib shouldn't pick
They
Koth.
have to pick a stopwatch, and I don't think they can pick
wonder
Steel.
how Rib's upward is. Because Witness Gaming showed they didn't want to play it over product. So that makes me think that Witness think their upward is worse than their product.
That checks to me. Yeah.
So if you're Rib, do you consider playing product? And if you're Witness...
No, Rib does not consider playing product.
No,
Absolutely
not
not.
upward. If you're Rib, do you consider playing upward?
Yeah, I think you do. I mean, obviously it's between upward and Swift. This team does not want to play Steel. But
and if you're Witness, then do you let Swift go through a second ban if that happens?
Well, actually, so here's the thing that's interesting, right? Is that you say that Rib wants to play stopwatch, they want to play payload. And while you can force double stopwatch...
Yeah, they might not want to play Steel.
You can't force double payload. Because Witness bans Ash, then Witness bans Vigil, Rib bans Ash, Rib picks upward. Then if you've got 2 payloads out already, so then Witness picks a Koth, presumably product, right?
Witness would get to force Rib to choose between Steel and...
Prute and Steel, presumably.
Yeah, Prute and Steel.
Which, they may take Prute, right? If I had to bet, I would bet on Rib taking Prute over Steel, judging by how strong they were against him on Squirt last time, the fact that Witness banned it this time, and Rib's own lack of performance on Steel. But if you're Witness, at least that gets you 2 Koths, right?
Yeah, you can play for that if you
I don't know
your
if you
Prute's a good enough option.
You don't want to play this team on double payload again. That should not happen. Regardless of who makes it into Grand Finals against them, do not let this team get double payload again.
Yeah, and with that, that's going to about do it for us tonight. A bit of a fast match, but, it just was that dominating from Run It Back. Not a single round, not a single offense went over 7 minutes the entire night.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's 11:15.
Yeah.
So that's one of the fastest double stopwatches we've ever had, if not the fastest.
As Run It Back going through to the grand final is going to be that upper seed with map advantage. Going to be playing one match is all they need to become the season. What is it? 17? I said earlier. 17 invite champions. Witness Gaming dropping to those losers finals, playing the winner of Somebody Help versus Square A happening right now. On paper, you favor Witness, but that is not going to be an easy match to say the least. We even saw last week Somebody Help put up a fight, so you got to imagine if Square A come through on that, they'll be licking their lips.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think we're looking at what is the? I can't even see what the other match is. Is it 1-1 right now? I think between
The map 1.
that was map 1.
Oh, so that match is still going on.
Oh,
so
jeez. All right. Well, Fireside's got that, so not to promote a competitor, I guess, but Dolphin, if you splash water at me, I'm not changing it for the next week. So yeah, no, Dolphins, we're gonna raid them. We love competition in the TF2 casting scene. So that match still has a long time to go on that. So if you were disappointed by the lack of Tuesday Highlander, it's very likely you'll see that over there.
yeah, I got nothing else to say. Run It Back are very clearly front runners for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that was one of the most dominating performances I've seen in ages.
Yeah, and with that, I guess we're going to be closing it out here. Thank you all for watching this match between Witness and Run It Back. That was a interesting match, and there's more Highlander going on Fireside, so stay tuned for that host. You can check more of it out. We'll be back next Monday for the lower bracket finals. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Saturday? Dolphins Song is Saturday.
Yeah,
I thought teams reschedule it often.
Sundays sometimes, but it'll be in the weekend.
Okay, yeah, so
Quite likely.
likely Saturday. We'll update you on anything that changes, and then grand finals on Monday then, right? April 1st, grand finals. Ooh, stick around for that one. Hopefully it's not a joke of a match.
Yeah, was that the match that shall not be named? Yeah, I think it was. So that said, I think we're gonna wrap up here. We'll take advantage of the short night before we throw it over to Fireside. But I do want to call out the ongoing, while we're about to throw it over to Fireside, the cup that they'll be running. I'm not sure if it's got a name, but it's the one in honor of Miggy, former TF2 player, passed away at a young age, taken way too soon. One of the most valuable community members and an incredible human being. Has a charity set up in his name, and a lot of the proceeds from that tournament will be going into supporting that. So we're going to throw it over to Fireside, but definitely make sure to check that out when you get the chance. I know I'll be casting in it. I think you'll be able to see Rogue in there too. Some other casters. Zag, not sure if you've been asked yet, but I can put in a word if you want. Should be a fun time. I think that's going to be the weekend of April 13th and 14th, so somewhere around there. So make sure to tune in for that because it's a great cause.
Yep. Thank you all for watching here tonight. We're going to throw it over to Fireside for the other match going on tonight. Join us this weekend and Monday for the rest of the Highlander Season 17 season. From me, Alto, and Dolphin, as always, thank you for watching and good night.